Welcome back to Unfiltered with Dan Bongino. The deep state, I don't care what you call it, the silly state, the sloppy state, the deep state, doesn't matter to me, but it's back. And you know why it's back? Because liberals fight to win. And some rhinos out there fight for placement in the Washington Post editorial column. We're never gonna win that way. Check out this National Review article. DOJ picks Susan Hennessy with her long sordid history of partisan conspiracy mongering. This was one of the chief collusion hoaxers who's now being brought back in to the Biden Department of Justice. Again, they play to win. Why does this story matter? Listen, it's not personal. I don't know Susan Hennessy. I never met her. She worked over at the Brookings Institution, however, while she was promoting the collusion hoax. Here it is right there. Susan Hennessy was a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution, focused on national security and stuff. That's interesting. Here are some of Susan Hennessy's tweets. Remember, your tax dollars are about to pay Miss Hennessy right here. She says, quote, let's stop the narrative that IC leaks highly sensitive info out of revenge right in its tracks. That's not what happened. No, that is what happened. Here's another tweet from Miss Hennessy. The bottom line here appears that the origins and conduct of the Russia investigation happened exactly how former officials have been saying it did all along, and that there was some misconduct by lower-level employees, but it didn't implicate the substantive investigation. Someone should tell the FISA court that actually ruled that there was significant misconduct. Maybe Hennessy'd like to know before she enters into the DOJ. Here's a third tweet attacking Devin Nunes, who ironically is the one guy who got it right. Frankly, Nunes' lack of knowledge is outright alarming for the HPSCI chair. Lack of knowledge. He was the one guy who got it right. Well, Susan Hennessy didn't only support the collusion hoax and promote it, vouch for Christopher Steele's credibility at one point, even though none of Christopher Steele's foreign affiliates over there, friends of Christopher Steele overseas, were vouching for him at that time. That's kind of strange. Hennessy supported the impeachment hoax, too. Check this out.
There are two big categories in which the founders just get it wrong. They understand they're creating this massively empowered executive, but they say, don't worry, because there are two things that are really going to constrain this. So they make two big mistakes. One is they don't foresee the rise of political parties. They don't foresee that the remedy of impeachment actually isn't going to be the legislative branch having a counterbalancing function, but instead it's just going to be a measurement of how many members of the president's own party happen to sit at the Senate at the time, paired with the failure of the Electoral College to actually perform the screening functions that the founders envisioned. I do think we have to have real concern about the long-term sort of ability of Congress to oversee and effectively constrain the executive branch.
I wonder if in the Biden Justice Department she's going to have those same concerns about the executive branch. Again, this isn't personal, folks. You're about to pay with your tax dollars Miss Hennessy. Who's her pal? Who does she hang around with? Who does she work with? Well, she wrote a book with Benjamin Wittes called Unmaking the Presidency by Susan Hennessy and Benjamin Wittes. Who's Benjamin Wittes? Check this out.
I have been not surprised, actually, by a lot of the tone of it because, unlike a lot of people, I was kind of talking to Jim through some of this period, and a lot of the tone of this book it's fully consistent with the tone of our conversations at the time.
Kind of weird, huh? She works with Ben Wittes, wrote a book with him, who's friends with Jim Comey, who marshaled the whole collusion hoax while Hennessy's supporting the collusion hoax. Folks, listen, they're free to do what they want. It's the United States of America. You have the right to assemble, the right to petition, and the right to free speech. But you don't have the right to my taxpayer dollars when you screwed up the biggest scandal, or one of the biggest scandals of our time. Sorry, the Wuhan lab leak, I think, is #1 right now. Who else did they work with at Brookings, by the way? Aren't these questions we should all be answering? Remember this article from the Daily Beast? Steele dossier source, Igor Danchenko. Donald Trump is putting me in danger. Remember this article in the New Yorker? The extraordinary impeachment testimony of Fiona Hill. How does Fiona Hill and Danchenko, alleged to be one of the sources for the dossier, relate to Hennessy and Wittes? They all worked at the Brookings Institution. Interesting, huh? Maybe some questions we should be asking Miss Hennessy. Again, it's not personal, folks. They're applying for the highest levels of power in the United States government. They're paid by your tax dollars. They're open to scrutiny. So how deep is the deep state? Investigative reporter Sarah Carter is one of the only ones who looks into this. She'll join me next with Biden's deep state ties.